What's up, Cachorrites? We are back with a movie review. We haven't done one of these in a while. Uh, haven't done. I've seen some stuff. And this is I had to make this one because this is my most anticipated movie of the summer. I can't say the year because there's a Godzilla movie coming out at the end of the year. So, but yes, I was more hyped for this movie than I am for Spider-Man, Supergirl, Doomsday, Doom 3. This was the movie I've been waiting all year for so far. And it is Masters of the Universe. He-Man is back, baby. And I love the movie. I really, I mean, there's parts that, there's some bad parts in the movie that I'll talk about in a bit here. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It is worth seeing. Unfortunately, probably won't win the weekend because everyone's going to jump the new Scary Movie, which I am zero interest in that movie. Did people forget how bad those movies got after like the first two? But that'll probably win out the weekend over this. So, man, I wish I need to put that on a dark screen. But this is totally worth seeing. It is fun. It is campy. It's got the cheese. It pays homage to the source material. It knows what to make fun of. It was such a great job on this, and I hope we get more and they go further. It's totally worth seeing. I'm a little more biased, so I'm going like 8 with it. Every other people I know, with the people I went with, gave it like a 7. But it's worth it. Everything's good. The action's great. The CGI looks really good. The designs, the costumes are amazing. The performances in the movie were all pretty solid. So that's great. It starts off slow because they got to do the whole. We already knew, going in, they're doing the whole have to go to Earth thing, and I think that's the weakest part of the movie, is because that drags on a little too long, and I do think they go a little overboard with the jokes sometimes. So sometimes they over push the jokes. There's a lot of jokes that land. A lot of jokes are pretty good, and they know, like I said, they know what humor to get perfect in it. But there's some stuff that they just throw in a joke where you didn't really need to throw in a joke there. So there's a little too. So that would be the only caveats. I mean, to cut down some of that, trim the movie down a little bit, cut out some of the Earth stuff, maybe cut out some of the overabundant jokes. And this may be a 9 for me. So I am downgrading it for that. So it's getting the bias love to 8, Dan described why it's so shiny. My character list here, or my cast list. The highlights of the movie is, sit down for this. Jared Leto's Skeletor is fucking fantastic. Am I allowed to curse yet? I don't make money off YouTube anyway, so they can't demonetize me. But his Skeletor is dead perfect. He mixes a lot of the great Skeletors. He mixes the 80s cartoon. He mixes the 86 movies kind of Skeletor. I don't know how to really describe that guy, that Skeletor, that more Granger Skeletor. So he mixes a lot of them together, and he gets them there, and you get a lot of the movies you want. You get the evil Skeletor, you get the whiny, cackling Skeletor, the sarcastic Skeletor. Nicholas Galatzine, I said I'm saying that right, does a really good job as He-Man, Prince Adam and He-Man. Idris Elba is always Idris Elba. He's great, and I know that's one of the people bitched about the movie. He is a great man at arms. He gets the character. He's having fun with it, and he knocks it out. Camila Mendez's Tila was pretty solid. One thing I say was probably maybe been weakest was Alison Brie's Evil Lynn. I love Alison Brie. I think it's her voice didn't. She had parts where towards the end she started sounding better. But at first her voice doesn't kind of fit what you think for Evil Lynn. She's too high pitched. I don't know how to say. I don't know how you would describe it, but it just doesn't. It just wasn't coming off right. It wasn't matching right. So I mean, she's a fantastic actress. I love Alison Brie. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know her. She needed like a more menacing voice, maybe. Maybe with a whole bunch of other people. Fisto and Ram Man, Josie Zhang, and Jum's two actors I'm not even familiar with. I'm pretty sure I've seen some. I'm sure I've seen them in something. They were solid. Trapjaw was great. The Sorceress for the little bit you got her was good. The Roboto character, I thought they did that one really well. Mechanic was a fun character. Triclops didn't really do much. They copied much too, man. And our surprise cameos. We have three post-credit scenes. One right at the beginning. One slightly after the first beginning of the credits, and then one at the very end of the credits. And all of them were all right. I mean, the first two probably better than the last one was your must-have one you needed to have. But everything is this movie just really worked for me all the way around, and it's totally worth going and seeing. Uh, like I said, it's up against Scary Movie re, revival. It was two revival movies, reviving the He-Man franchise and reviving the Scary Movie franchise in the same weekend. Plus, you got still have the two holdover uh horror movies that everyone's going crazy about. I haven't seen them yet. I still need to kind of get those in. Obsession probably looks better to me than Backrooms does because Backrooms is kind of just based on this popular thing and popular video games. It's never really interested me. But people like to go nuts over that. Some silly stuff like that. I'd say Mendez and Grogu movies probably DOA at this point. So it's. I think its time is done. It's sad. It wasn't a bad movie. So this movie's probably. I don't think it's tracking to have a huge weekend. So everyone's gonna jump on it and with the whole it's a flop. Dude, this was made by Amazon. These are the guys that spend $1 billion on Rings of Power, and that doesn't even go in theaters. They made a Voltron movie that's going directly to Prime. They made a Highlander. They're making a Highlander movie, which we're not even sure if that's going in theaters yet. So I don't think the box office draw for He-Man's going to be a massive problem here. I mean, it's got good reviews from pretty much across the board, and I think it'll do decent enough in theaters, and then you're gonna put it on digital. You're gonna make your money on. This is the thing. People always think, oh, the box office where movies make all their money. Not anymore. That's not how it works anymore. That was pre 2020. COVID led to streaming. Streaming changed the box office, how studios view their movies, because now it's all about putting it on digital, getting those digital rental fees as quick as possible, and getting on a streaming service as quick as possible. Get that streaming money, the subscriber money, and yes, that's a huge factor. If it wasn't a huge factor, then 80% of the movies, according to the movie math people, flop. Why would they not change? Why is that system not changed? Because they're making the money somewhere else, and these people don't take relevance on that. So even I think this movie's gonna have a very good streaming uh his likes for them. So hopefully that does lead to them going further with this franchise. I mean, Amazon's locking up all the toy franchises. Like I said, they have Voltron, and now they're in good graces with Mattel. That could lead to a lot more. Um, so that's the basic non-spoilery stuff we can do. So go. It's worth seeing. If you like He-Man, if you're interested in the movie, go see it. It's worth it. So now we're going to go to the spoilers and. All right, so the movie starts with some voiceover, and we get the flashback of him, Adam, as a kid, and he's a wimpy kid, and he's not really into the fighting stuff, and he's a small shrimpy kid with all the other people. We see Baby Cringer who talks. He does talk. That's probably also I don't. Well, the Baby Cringer voice is fine. The adult Cringer voice was kind of to me as well. But we'll get to that part. So Man Arms is doing his training. He's trying to make everybody be tough and strong warriors, but he's always just like kind of taking it easy on Adam because he knows he's the smaller guy. And the king comes out, and you also meet young Tila, and her and Adam are friends. And the king comes out and wants to try and push the son to be bigger and tougher and stronger, and kind of walks away. Well, from him, and Adam's feeling dejected. Then that's when this leads up to the Skeletor attack, and everybody gets humbled. Skeletor pretty much takes over. Um, Man Arms loses a battle that puts him, defeats him mentally. The fact that he failed to protect everybody, and the Sorcerer sends He-Man and the Power Sword, or Adam and the Power Sword, to his mother's homeworld. I mean, at least they are tying Earth in the right way, because in the cartoon, Adam's mom, the Queen, is from Earth. So he sends him to Earth and says, as long as he keeps the sword, stay with the sword, and that's his way back. Well, going through the teleportation tube thing, him and the sword get separated, and so he lands on Earth, and we hook. So then we cut up to where he's in oil, and we find out he's telling this whole story to a girl he's on a date with. So she obviously like, oh, I gotta take this. I gotta go. so So we get a lot of scenes of him. He's working in an HR department, and he's living a miserable life. He's obsessed with finding the sword, and that he's from another planet and all this stuff. So it keeps going on and on until he finally finds the sword, and the sword, by connecting the sword, I guess it sends out a beacon that allows the good guys and the bad guys to both track him to Earth. Because I guess warp hole things are a thing here, so they can travel in space. They can quickly travel through space. So that's where we get adult Tila, and we also get Beast Man, who looks great. And she saves him, takes him back to Eternia, and that begins the journey where he has to reconnect with everybody. And it's really cool because they make, and I like, they do a great, because if you know He-Man, they got the craziest character names. You have Ram Man, Fisto, Neck and Neck, Moss Man, Merman. So they have like the weirdest names. So they worked it in that he calls them by their names that he gave them as when he saw them as a kid. So he was drawing, and when he went to Earth, he's drawing pictures of them, and he did. So he just gave them nicknames. So that's how they work in the crazy names. And there's a lot of and they don't shy away from making some of the obvious He-Man jokes. I mean, there's always a lot of the gay He-Man jokes and stuff. So they do make that, they always have been associated with some of the stuff like that, especially when you got Fisto. So they don't shy away from that. They do make those jokes. And so he goes on the void. He turns into He-Man, and it's all about trying to save his people. And it does slow down, and obviously Man Arms comes back around, and so it's all about getting the hero's journey. And they get all the people together and rile them up, and they all come back and to take down the big old bad guy. I don't want to give out too much of the story. I won't give out too much of the story. That's just the basic synopsis of the movie. But we have some great fight scenes. The final battle is the He-Man Skeletor battle at the end is really good, including a part where Skeletor gets inside of his head and is like visiting memories, and it's absolutely hilarious because you see Skeletor working out in the gym, just and Skeletor in a suit and tie at the HR is like, "What is this? Human resources? What kind of hell is this?" The Skeletor is just absolutely fantastic in this whole thing. Is like Jared Leto steals the show. You don't even realize it's Jared Leto, and he's not a terrible actor. He just gets a really. I think he just gets more hate. I mean, outside it sounds like. I don't know. What's out there. Supposedly there's shit he's been accused of. I can think of outside. I don't really follow that stuff. but I don't blame him for the Joker. I don't blame him for Morbius. He didn't write and direct those movies. He's just an actor in them. And I think all that led to Tron, where he gets associated with that. Here's the truth about Tron. Tron made a movie in like the 1980s. Then they made a sequel around, I guess, the early 2000s. Then they made another sequel 20 years after that. If you make sequels to your movie 20 years apart, you're not much of a franchise, by the way. So it's gonna be hard to keep track of the same canon going. Like I said, oh, this you can say this about this movie. Well, this movie's also rebooting the entire thing and bringing in new people, so that's a different way of doing it. Um, so now we'll do the post-credit scenes. So this is a spoiler for this, so don't watch this if you don't want to know. So the first one is my boy Orko. He's if you watch the '80s cartoon, they always did like a little wrap up at the end of the show talking about the lessons learned. It was like He-Man, GI Joe, all the cartoons at that time. Always had to have had the positive kids message at the end of them. So it ends right with Orko kind of giving a message about the movie. Then you go a little bit and you get the tease for Shira. So they mentioned they have another child who's missing, and maybe she'll find her way back. And then you see just the back silhouette of the back of Shira. So they don't reveal casting. I just thought they were going to reveal it. They already made an actress playing her. So I was like, so I would make. I mean, this movie's already well in the works because she does talk. Hear her say something, say a line or two, but you only just see her from behind. And then at the very end, you have Evelyn uh, doing something, rescuing, teasing the return of Skeletor. So if they do go sequel, that so they can bring back Skeletor. So there's another spoiler here is which is not too huge. Skeletor dies. The He-Man destroys him. Which is not. I mean, the '80s cartoon obviously didn't have that kind of stuff because they couldn't have any violence in that. They couldn't really have any violence in that show. In fact, if you go back and watch it, He-Man never fights anybody with his sword. He only uses swords to like block laser beams and stuff like that. He always just physically fights everyone because they weren't allowed to have sword violence in the cartoon. So, and then some of the other renditions have had tease of the death of Skeletor. The '86 movie teased the death of Skeletor just to have, and it was like one of the first movies to have that post credit scene. That's what it's actually infamous. It's infamous for starting the post credit scene thing. So the very end of the credits, you had the Skeletor pop his head back above the liquids. Whatever I can't remember what it was he fell into. So it was like the first movie I think that did the post credit scene. Sorry, Marvel, you didn't start it. Some other cool things is there is a Dolph Lundgren cameo. He meets Adam at the gym on Earth and he talks and they give him the good journey line from the movie. One of Skeletor's henchmen. Don't think I don't think he has a talking spot, so I don't think he has a. Yeah, so he's not. This is about IMDb here, but there's one of the henchmen that is a remake from one of the henchmen from that movie. I can't remember what the character's name was. Is the long white hair. That was one of his henchmen from the '86 movie. So they put him in there. But a lot of the other henchmen, I'm also not familiar with. There's a couple of characters that they did that had pretty decent roles that I was not positive with. Like one girl, Dian, who's like the one that was always picking on him in the training class. Now grow up. I think she was made up for the movie. I don't remember her from anything in particular. And the one thing I always thought they were just was like they're hiding out. He's not listed here. There's one a character called Goatman, which I don't remember at all from anything either. It's a pretty sizable role in the movie. So there's for on the villain side, the villain side characters. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of the synopsis. Like I said, I think they pushed the humor. The Earth scenes probably could have been cut down a little bit, as they pushed a lot of modern humor, making fun of society and stuff like that. And the roommate, like their whole roommate stuff, probably could have been cut out. And then there's like sometimes during the action scenes, there's big moments they'd undercut it with a joke, kind of James Gunnish. A hug scene between Man at Arms and Tila, have a moment, and then Adam's got to come up and get in the moment, kind of ruin the moment. A big reveal, and they're all like standing there doing heroic poses, and then they all start coughing because of dust, and it's like, yeah, you probably should have cut those ones out. That's a little, too much. So I definitely think they could have cut some of that stuff out and trimmed it down a little bit to make it would be even better. But for the most part, I think there's a lot of really good comedy in it. There's a lot of good action in it, a lot of good performances in it. I mean, they're respecting the source material. They're having fun with the source material. They know when to make fun of in the source material. So yeah, so it doesn't, like I said, if this was a serious movie, it would definitely probably do terrible. I don't think you. So I think it has to have the tongue in cheek, adapt to the fact that it's got the cheesiness of the '80s stuff, and I think they did a good job with it. So go see it. I recommend it highly. It's definitely a super fun movie. To be rare, it's mostly a comedy. And how bad? How long are we going here? I'm streaming. I meant to record this. All right. Until next time, Cachorro out. So now I need to download the stream. Well, let's stop and restart.